Dialogue writing is in many ways a sister class to character writing because, of course, dialogue supports characters. Dialogue gives you a sense of who characters are, both in the ways that characters express themselves and in ways that characters do not. Often I find one issue happening with characters is that they're like bad dates. You're sitting across the table and your date keeps talking and talking and talking, and pretty soon you just want to escape because you've heard this person's life story. There's nothing left that's intriguing, and you just want to get out of there. This is something to really be careful of and to avoid writing dialogue for a character, because a story is a seduction. A film story or a television episode or story is always a seduction, and you want to be raising questions in dialogue and in what characters say and what characters do not say, or who they say things to and whom they do not say things to. And if that's not happening, you've got a problem because there's no seduction happening. It's just it's like force feeding an audience information and expecting the audience to want to stick around. Nobody tunes into a movie or a series to be force fed information. They show up to be intrigued and interested. And one of the ways that this is achieved is through dialogue and through being careful. Because dialogue, although it mimics actual speech, has a purpose. It has to accomplish a peak point in a scene where something is changing or turning. It has to accomplish a sense of conflict and drama and narrative tension in a scene, which happens when characters are in opposition to each other. And often this is through what they say to each other or what they don't say. There's subtext, and subtext is extremely important because it gives a certain sense of depth to characters and to scenes, which will be lacking without that sense of subtext. There's the juxtaposition of different characters who create contrast between each other, which is something we'll be studying. And there are elements of speech patterns, which is another important element that we'll be studying. I think too that it's important to really pay attention to avoiding prompts. Prompts are the back and forth. A character asks a question, another character answers. A character asks the question, another character answers. Whereas characters don't really need prompts to deliver information. And quite often I'll see way too many prompts going on in scripts, too much of this back and forth sort of artificial wooden, tell me this, okay, here it is. Tell me this, okay, here it is. Tell me this, here it is. And I put a heavy emphasis on removing those and getting rid of them and learning ways to avoid them so that dialogue flows more naturally, hits the peak faster, and does not feel artificial. Add to this, we're going to talk about character voice. We're going to talk about how dialogue can support a sense of character or can undermine a sense of character, and much, much more. I hope that you'll be joining me, and I look forward to hearing your questions and comments after you view the course.